The life force of your bond, a power like life itself, unseen for generations, a dyad in the force.
Wrong stage. Hey guys, what up? There's no music playing because this is a watch along. Should I put some music on while we wait?
I mean, we got 20 minutes. What is that sound?
Sorry. Can you guys hear us okay? I think Choco stepped away for something. I don't know.
Whew, all right.
Okay. Got some. Oh shit.
You good?
I was taking a beauty nap and I was reclined all the way. I forgot to lock it, so I was like,
Nice. You nap right there in your chair?
Yeah, whenever I have something on. I can nap anywhere. Say potato.
Potato.
Okay. Can you guys hear us okay on whichever platform you're on?
Testes 1 2.
Okay, we got a yes and we got a testes. What about with the YouTube side? People are already talking about predictions on this episode.
Yeah, and people have already seen it. Man, I wish I was those people.
But we have Kenny in the chat. We have Spooky Kitty. We have VGC on the Twitch side. Spooky Kitty says, my prediction is at some point they're going to tell Jude not to make it bad and sing a sad song to make it better.
Well played. Well played, sir. Hey, Jude Law.
Let's see here.
I still laugh at just like, they're like, Jude Law, Jod. Like, we're just going to mix them together.
I actually think it came from John, if they're going to do Long John Silver.
Yeah.
When Jude character says in the trailer, we have to go see a very old friend, and says she, I think Dr. Aphra. It's a long shit. I know, right? It's a long shot, I know, but it's her.
I took one of those
Mary.
today.
Did it swirl around like soft serve? And if we get Jude sing...
stuck out like an oak tree.
If we get Marin before Cal, I'll be pissed. I don't know.
Oh, why?
Does it normally go live at 7 Central? Did daylight savings mess it up? No, it goes
There's
live.
no normal yet. This is the first regular time, so we couldn't tell you what it normally does at this point.
It's supposed to go live. Well, Disney Plus says 6 p.m.
Yeah, Disney Plus says 6 p.m. Lately, they have actually been doing it on time. I feel like at the beginning, they released things like 10 minutes early to like reduce, stress load. But that's just me spitballing.
Stress load.
Rather than 100% of people jumping in exactly at 6, you'd have people who notice it was early, and then you'd have those waiting, and just spread it out just a little bit. But we'll see if this does the same. But yeah, I mean, before in the olden days, in the before times, it was 10 minutes early, always.
On midnight. 10 minutes from midnight.
So what is actually your preference? You like it at this time? Do you miss the midnight? Does the midnight make it feel special?
No, this time makes it easier for me, particularly now.
Because you can dash after?
Morning. Yeah. Although I saw an article earlier today that it's like, see, episode 3 is supposed to air Wednesday, 12 a.m. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about. This new age of social media is weird to me, because again, there's no longer. It's all about getting information out there first. There's no more like journalistic integrity, and I'm not. That's weird to me.
Got to be out first.
So now I have to pay attention to all the news, so I can know what's correct. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
What's the saying goes? It's not about being right. It's about being first.
Yeah.
Nowadays, anyway.
There was a couple Easter eggs that we missed that I found out later. One, now I can't remember the name. The person that cruises up on his bike and is challenging, our main girl to a race. They were actually named after Harrison Ford's character in George's first movie. What's it called?
American Graffiti?
In American Graffiti, yes. So that's one. And then there's a second nod to American Graffiti that in the background, if you're paying attention, there's a diner. And it's actually in Arabic, it says Mel's Diner.
Yeah. I saw that one at least on my rewatch.
But Mel's Diner is where they all went to. I mean, for me, I saw Mel's Diner and I was like, oh yeah, those are all over Northern California. We used to go to Mel's after shows all the time. Get ourselves a breakfast sandwich at 3 a.m. It was amazing.
Really? You're that kind of guy? I always, if it was an AM, like early AM venture to the diner, it was always because I was never up early enough to get breakfast. I always had the like a toast, bacon and eggs or sausage and eggs with the omelet.
Yeah, I was someone that was always up early and I stayed up late. So that's probably what's wrong with my brain now.
Is it bad I never saw that movie? Not really.
No.
You'd have to have been around at a certain time to have seen it.
Or a massive nerd, you know. Like, my love for Star Wars is what made me watch it. But it was a wildly successful film back in its heyday.
Does anyone else have an issue with the YouTube app not letting you search things while you're watching a video? Not really, no.
Nope. No, are you on an iPhone?
So there's two interactions with the YouTube app that are distinct from each other. If you swipe down from the title, it full screens in vertical. If you swipe down from the video, then you'll get picture in picture, and then you can search around.
They did add the picture-in-picture functionality to iPhone, right?
I don't know.
Because that wasn't there for many, many years. It's one of the many things that I'm sure they'll do eventually.
Oh yeah, I mean 2024, the year you could finally move your icons around.
You know what always killed me is like, because I got a note like pretty early on in its lifespan, and I my friends with iPhones were like, "How can you use that? It's so big and unwieldy and all this stuff." And it's because the big iPhones that they had at the time were terrible because they had the chin. They were a different aspect ratio, so they were wider in general. And you couldn't choose where your icons were. So your icons would be in the top left. So it was super unwieldy because you couldn't control it. And I'm like, this is an imaginary problem that only applies to you. Because like this phone is narrower and I just put my icons where my fingers go.
Well, the bottom.
It's like, it seems like a easy solution.
Which is funny. I have my icons in the bottom in my agenda here. At the top.
You want to know something that's sad though?
What?
That's new for me. At least this last. I have not even put on a wallpaper or or anything. It's still stock out of the box. Haven't. I mean, I'm sure you've heard. I haven't even changed the ringtone. I don't know. I just never thought about it.
What's going on?
I never think about it.
Low Street.
Hey, Wolf of Low Street. How you doing, buddy?
If I click the search bar, it just brings up the video I'm currently watching. I don't know about that. I mean, I could test it right now. I don't have a search bar when the video is watching, but I swipe down, search. No, I can search. Also, can you guys guess what my wallpaper is? If I go to like...
Satyo Shan.
Nope. You can't see it.
Oh. Yeah. It took me... I was like, what is that symbol? And then I was like, I'm an idiot.
You know, as I read it in the chat, Wolf, I just read it, the Wolf of Loth, Saint Sabine. This is a good spot to be for sure. Hey, I was browsing pre-shows and yours seems the best. Nice to meet you guys. Welcome, Sophie.
Yeah.
Obviously
Nice
not
to have
watching
you.
Star Wars Theory. Yeah. You know, to our... Or at least to my surprise, he's actually enjoying this show and he's getting a lot of flack for it. But in general, we kind of definitely stay away from that side.
You know, broken clocks right twice a day. Yeah, but we just enjoy things. How are you enjoying Skeleton Crew? And do you have any predictions for what we're gonna see? I need to unravel the secret of Adatin.
Yeah.
Which
On
was the barrier.
On
What are
my
they hiding?
rewatch, Wiggle your cables a little bit.
I'll wiggle your cable.
There you go. It's gone. On my rewatch, I also that is my rewatches is when I translate the Orabesh, and I was hoping to get like a clue, for the school name, but dang, it only says at middle school. Like, you couldn't be like at analysts, technology, barrier maintenance academy. Absolutely loving the show so far. It has such a great vibe, and I love all of the characters. Who's your favorite character, Sophie? Mine is, well, it's a tie between KB and Neil right now, just because, like, preliminarily, KB was the technology nerd, and I relate to that, but, like, Neil was doing some work the first two episodes.
I feel like they're doing my boy Wim dirty a little bit, right? Because they're making him so impetuous that, like, it's hard to I don't know. That just wasn't me when when I was little. But I think, as the story unfolds, that urge to break the mold is going to end up saving them all.
Yeah. Saruni Temi says it is not a kids show. So a kids show to me,
it's a family show.
A kids show to me is like Young Jedi Adventures, Blue's Clues, the shows that like teach kids how to say words and spell, and has very, very very, very childish in nature themes. Like, for example, Young Jedi Adventures, it's all about, I need to build my ship so that I can finish this race. And, like, their problems and their hardships are just, like, trying to finish the race.
It's like learning to share and stuff.
Yeah. But a family show, this show has kids in it. But they're surrounded by very... I wouldn't say mature, but they're surrounded by very real scenarios. You certainly wouldn't see like a droid beating up pirates in a kids show. Like they would shoot a box up in the ceiling, and then another box would tumble over and hit them in the head and go boing. Oh, like that's how it would work. So, it's not a kid show.
I mean, it's YA is if this was in written form, it'd be YA. It's a coming of age story. We are consistently hearing people tell Wim that he needs to grow up, and he just doesn't want to, or at least he doesn't want to lose the childlike aspects of him, and that's going to be the whole message. So yeah, it's a coming of age story, meaning either you're a kid and you learn about growing up, or you're an adult and it reminds you of when you grew up.
Yeah. Was the Onyx Cinder an arc of sorts where the community began? Kind of like an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong Village scenario?
I didn't understand that.
Yeah. Anyone calling shows like this a kids show, I direct to the fact that Star Wars has always been for kids.
Yeah, and I think about how
it's growing up though.
Claudia Gray put it perfectly. All of Star Wars is YA, right? Because it's about a young character taking their steps into this larger world and following their adventure, right? That's what all the series have been about, right? Obviously, we do have some that'll lean into different spaces, like Andor and stuff, but yeah. To be quite honest, I don't feel like, maybe I'd imagine this is like a TV-14 show.
For me, at least in recent memory, Star Wars is always going to be made for kids, safe for kids, but I feel like it has been growing up in terms of storytelling. But the subject matter is still safe for kids. Like a kid can watch Andor, but would they sufficiently
They would probably find it boring, but they wouldn't
understand its premise? Is the thing.
They would hopefully not be scarred for life.
I mean, watching Namek get crushed by credits.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, George Lucas has always made this stuff for kids, so we're about 2 minutes away from the drop. And as it stands right now, they're not early. So the ship they found is the Onyx Cinder. Did the community start as a repopulation experiment and now they are in the barrier like how the people in the village were?
Oh, I see what you meant. I mean, that might be cool. I mean, as soon as I was putting things together, I immediately thought of Outbound Flight, which was a Republic attempt to do something like that. Out further in the galaxy. And so the people who went out there completely missed, the rise of the Empire and all that stuff.
So I recently kind of amended my theory and kind of latched onto Choco's theory about it being some sort of kind of, as it were, a project on this planet. And I kind of built off of that and said that this might be part of the New Republic's reformation program that we saw in The Mandalorian, where they were taking Imperial prisoners and sympathizers and reconditioning them and placing them into communities, and then they had numbers. Excuse me. But in this case, this might be like a separate, like, covert operation where they're doing the same thing, but these people were all Imperial, like, reformers. They're trying to reform Imperial prisoners, but at the same time, this is the place that they start to make plans to kind of build off of the First Order, right? And so it's they have the barrier up, they have the means with which to operate away from prying eyes. Okay, so it looks like the episode is up. I'm gonna load it up really quickly. I'm gonna stop the music. I'm gonna let this thing play first. Okay. Let me stop our music. And we're going to hit play. We're not going to skip any recaps if you want to watch along with us. And feel free to just watch on your own while you have us. But we're going to press play in 3, 2, 1.
Ah, the score!
At Atten.
Because we're pirates? I love that.
What's a brig?
Oh, Jod.
A new mask. Oh, yeah. You got Smee's face in there.
Smee's been added.
Buttercream, croc skin buttercream. Sorry, that's okay, so we're gonna see more of this project. It's all good, VGC. You can skip the recap and catch up. Supervisor. Getting more and more. So we have a supervisor.
Man, I can't wait till I go gray. I want that salt and pepper beard he's got. Like, it was slick looking.
Is that a Borg gullet? Oh. What you going to do, Drew? Okay. Now it's confirmed. Right. No magnets.
Yeah. There was no. That's what I've been saying.
I know. I think that's what we all said. Say it. I'm not a Jedi. Nawud. Okay. This whole time I was saying Jod na Nawud. Jod na Nawud. Yeah, Nana would. Hold on, I gotta fix this. For some reason my taskbar was showing. Oh, she's got a life monitor. Or she can detect droids.
or it's like, nope, not that.
Wait, what?
Robot force.
Well, there we go. There's another one. There's another explicit. The force flows through us all. We're gonna chalk that up as KB's just detecting droids, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if KB had the Force, to be honest. Although I'm biased. Could you imagine her though, with like the visor and having a lightsaber? Badass.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Let me adjust my sound settings.
Visor and a saber is cool. Yeah. It does sound like Afra. But that's not all she is, right? I knew it. That would be whim of anybody.
Did the spy music going too? Hello. Did we win?
It's already starting though. Remember when I said that like he was just gonna try to use them and just get
Yeah.
out? Mind trick. I don't think KB votes with you. Damn, that is a well-made fuel line. Don't care. Oh,
Ooh, that's actually pretty cool.
imagine getting whipped by that. Neil. That must be protein soup. Was it his ship? I don't
No.
think so.
No, definitely not his ship. I mean,
He knows it.
he
though.
was a,
Right? He pointed at it. He's like, that?
well, because that was the one that was all dirty and beat up and had stuff flying off of it. remember the guy who walked in and got shot in the eye was getting a replacement when the kids got on the station.
Yes, tell us about the great work.
I never said I was a Jedi. So, also, when what's his name did his fake Jedi stuff, it didn't have the same bass sound that typically happens when the Force is being used.
Say that again.
Sorry, I sounded weird. I love the theremin use in this scene.
It's increasingly sounding more like Afra. But I might just be being Optimist.
Probably not Afra.
Yeah. New Republic?
All right. Well, she said arrest, so she's not calling pirates.
W. Dagobah sounding music from the cave? Oh, true. Hmm. Oh. I'm gonna go translate that. That's an awesome creature.
Yeah.
Ooh. Is it the swirl that they look at in Empire Strikes Back? Wow, this is awesome.
I know. I can't even like talk during that. Oh no! She's my precious little.
It's part of his arc, man. By the end, he's gonna. Why is there so much? There's so much development happening with KB. I think she has the Force. I'm back on KB's side.
Yep.
Is it Zeb?
It's the goons.
Just wiggle.
He flies like us in on Smuggler's Run.
Yeah. Damn, he gonna make her shoot down some X-wings? Oh, Wim is all. Jesus.
That smile.
That's a smile we have going into Smuggler's Run.
Smile I have right now.
Dang, nothing shakes her. Oh man, I love this show.
It's just fun. It's I don't know. I feel so much joy with this show. It's just pure joy.
It is, man. There's so much lore drops that I was not expecting in this type of show. You know, I feel like this is up there with Ahsoka in terms of the lore. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes to finish up. Let us know in the chat when you guys have finished your episode. But man, some key takeaways from this episode. Obviously, DYAD is not a Jedi. We knew that. The question is what is he exactly? Who is he exactly? We have Captain Silvo. We have John Nanawood. And then we have
Crimson Jack.
And it seems like they're referring to, at least in this context, the Old Republic as in before the Empire. Anything before the Empire. But the notion that Adin was hidden purposefully. But even before the Empire. Right? Because they were like, even before the war. And they're like, what war?
Now the question I have about the barrier, is the barrier a natural phenomenon?
That's another thing too. When they were describing the barrier, or at least when Neil was describing the swirly like fog, I thought of like, now obviously back then when they were filming Empire Strikes Back, they were just kind of, they had so many options as to what to put in the background at the end of Empire Strikes Back when they looked out into the galaxies, and there was that swirl. But that's the first thing that I remember is that galactic swirl in Empire Strikes Back. It's white, it's foggy, and it's a swirl. But that was never anything in official material. It was just what they chose to put there. So I'm wondering.
I mean, yeah, it could be, just a natural, nebula that's somewhere behind. It scrambles their systems. They're not able to penetrate it. I do love the kind of expansion now we have on hyperspace lanes of having to get to the other side of the moon before they jump. The owl lady with her fingers, just such a cool design. I just enjoy the character. voice acting on Neo was great. Um, SM33's got some bolts loose, and I love it.
I honestly have, like, when it comes to shows that I enjoy, I often have critical issues with it, but I'm really not finding anything with this show right now. Like, I have zero problems with this show.
Yeah, well, I hate this idea that you have to be negative to have like a critical eye. I don't think that's actually true. VGC says the only problem is the runtime. Yeah, make everything
That's always
45
going to be a
minutes.
thing. I think it's a Disney Plus critique, if anything. That was dope. The kids would absolutely love it. Yeah.
See, I actually don't have a like. I feel like the pacing of the episode was was great. Like there was always something going on. It was always pushing the plot forward. There was nothing. I don't recall seeing any like waste.
No, I mean, I felt like it honestly felt like a really good length. But are we always going to want more? Yeah, we're always going to want more. Like as soon as they hit the crescendo and we knew the episode was ending, I wouldn't have minded if it continued. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I wanted the story to continue, but I didn't want any. I didn't need anything expanded on or shortened. And if they go into any other scenes, I don't know. It felt like an appropriate place to end.
Yes, yeah, for
But that's
sure.
just how I feel.
No, that's what I'm saying. It felt like a good place to end, but the binge side of me either wants the next episode now or wouldn't have minded if it went on a little bit longer. But I'm trying to go back to when she unfurls when Kim unfurls the scroll, and I want to see if we can translate this in real time.
All right. Well, how do you think Kim is spelled?
It's probably CHYM.
Okay, I'm calling it just KYM.
Also, would love to ruffle through all of those star charts.
I like to ruffle through all them feathers. I'm just that's a joke. That's a joke.
Is that a hear me out for Kim? Let's see here.
Maybe dating was too tight in some instances, as to carry on a scenes a little longer.
Perhaps, yeah.
You know,
So I will say there can always be improvements, but in this case, I don't feel like anything was out of
nothing
place.
was, yeah. But more than that, it kept the flow going. It kept the tension.
TH the
I mean, where you start at?
the world. I'm starting. I don't know if you can see where my
I can see your
cursor
mouse.
is. I'm starting here.
Yeah. Okay.
The world, is that an L? Yeah, the worlds. So this one says the worlds. The next line is, and that's upside down, by the way. This one is, Is that an A or is that a... That looks like a weird character. Because that's an N and that's an R. A-N-R. Something N-R.
Yeah, some of these don't feel like they are spelling anything as I'm looking at them.
Uh,
Like maybe I'm doing something wrong.
where... W-E-R-E. Where... No... Where no is a 7. What's a 7 again? R. And then
Now, just looking at the planets there. So remember how before I talked about, the Maw and how there was hidden installations and stuff like that? One of the other things that happened in the expanded universe is there was a place called Centerpoint Station. Now, Centerpoint Station was a place that was created by the Ones, and it was like this. How do I explain it? So, Coruscant, not Coruscant, Corellia, and another planet had this dual rotation that was perfect, just opposite each other. That like didn't make any sense, and they found that right in between them, there's a place called Centerpoint Station, and it was like a station that had this Omega powered tractor beam, and so they would use it. I mean, the only person that was ever able to use it was Anakin Solo. So it's like you had to be able to use the Force and stuff like that, but they could use it as a weapon. Well, it turns out that it had been used to. I mean, it set up that dual orbit for Corellia and the other planet that surrounded it, but was also what they used in order to essentially move black holes and planets and stuff in order to create the Maw. Right. So it turns out that the Maw itself, in the center of it, that's the prison planet where Abeloth was being kept. And so it was like the Ones created this station in order to move these. And then there's Sinkhole Station to monitor the prison. But yeah, it was a whole thing where the planets were kind of... Sorry, the phenomena were artificially arranged in order to keep something hidden. So there's no easy path to or from it. Yeah. And that just kind of reminds me of how those planets there are arranged. Now, that's probably just a depiction, so it probably doesn't actually mean anything. Or, what if the swirls are one of those outside planets that we're looking at?
Yeah. It could
and
be.
It's protecting something in the center.
So the entire... So it's like a gaseous planet. Or what we're looking at is the barrier of planets, and then on the center is Aden.
Yeah, that could be it as well.
Just got done. Yes, it's definitely KOTOR Old, not High Republic. Definitely didn't get that. Kim says before the war.
Well, so we know that their society has been separated and they missed the entire rise and fall of the Empire.
Yes.
How much further back they go, we don't know that.
Okay, so
There's also
this.
vibes from the Lost Tribe of the Sith, right? They were completely isolated, marooned on a planet that just didn't have the technology to get off, and so they just kind of made a home there.
Okay. Does where Norris mean anything to you?
Say it again.
Where Norris. WERENOURIS.
No, doesn't ring any bells.
That's the one after the worlds. I'm going in a circle. Okay, so this next one is HOUSE D. HOUSED. Housed. What letter is that? Again, is that an X? ND. Oh, I guess they're you. Okay, that is an A. They're just kind of. It's written kind of weird. Okay. A N D. So housed and T. Okay, that's where the visibility ends. Rewatching episode 1, they
Yeah.
move past the barrier really fast. I'm assuming Adden has been hidden for several thousand years, or at the very least several hundred. The games and the kids' knowledge doesn't have to be accurate. True. I'm gonna start on the second line on the top left again. A backwards C.
Well,
okay.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like we should be more talking with and hanging out with chat. Um,
We are.
all right, there we go. Let's pop this out. Parallels to society's world's planet cut off from the main are a staple of sci-fi. Glad that this episode added it to the lore. Yeah, I mean, and it's not a new concept for Star Wars, but each time that we've seen it is something different and it means something different. And I love the implications of this for this world. Does the phrase proto republic mean anything? Timeline wise, no, but
Not canonically.
um,
Though
it makes it sound like could they have split off from towards the founding of the republic? We also have to remember that the galaxy is pretty different than it is in the expanded universe when it comes to the old republic, right? Because in the old republic, in the expanded universe, the galaxy was like the same, thousands of years ago. They had made it as far out that the same. But we know in canon that back in the time of the or the Republic, the prequel times, or sorry, if we go back to the High Republic times, they were as far out as like the mid rim, and of course there were people living beyond that. Um, but the Republic hadn't expanded beyond there, which means that they had to have it somewhere sooner or somewhere closer. I mean, unless you think they would have a pocket of Republic somewhere further out.
So while I'm like translating, I'm listening, and there is an idea of the proto republic in
There was an idea.
in the old Sotor. There is a proto republic where we learn about Notron, which is the old name for Coruscant. But in terms of canon, there's no proto republic, so that might be something that that they're bringing in. I'm also looking at the imagery on the left side here. Do you see it, Choco?
Sorry, I don't have it up right now. All right, the imagery where?
On the left side with the it looks like a ritual that they're laying on hands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? There's so much to dissect.
I mean, this I'm not gonna lie. That depiction looks like the end of Attack on Titan. When you're watching the credits and you've seen weird rituals and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I see that. I see those extra letters. Okay. The worlds were nourished and housed, and then it and then it cuts off after and then we have a line that says Kithesed and T. That's either Kith or Sith. No, it's definitely Kith. Kithesed. It's probably naming a planet. Oh, you know what? The worlds were nourished and housed, and that's probably like by these planets, Kithesed and something, and what is this letter? F. F A M F A M L T FAMLT Fam L T L E S. I should write this down. FAMLTL ESOE S. Oh wait, OE R E. So it looks like that line is just a bunch of gibberish. Or maybe it's just another planet name. Sith Ascend? No. So one of the lines is literally KITHESED ANDT. The next line is FAMLTLEROESE. So my thinking is that some of it is planets, some of it is gibberish, but the first line says the worlds were nourished and housed and something. So, I mean, like, I feel like there's a delicate balance within the barrier now. Right? Nourished and housed worlds.
Yeah, I mean, from you saying that, again, leads me to believe that this was created in some sort of ritual, you know? And that's why I want to. But this is all stuff I'm going to dig into more offline because I can't focus on that and talk to people.
Yeah, I'm going to spend some time translating this, but the chart that she unfurls in front of the kids has a lot of lore in that can be gleaned from translating it. EHTHESOAND and so the something.
All right, Thane. I can't help you. What are you doing?
THELRR. THELRR.
All right. You guys being a menace. Hey.
Who destroyed them? I'm concerned they destroyed 8 worlds except the one. Who destroyed them? Why were they destroyed? What happened? Tell us, please. You know, I mean,
Destroyed? I mean, it doesn't say anything about destroyed, but I'm just wondering about I mean, yeah, we're just. I mean, and also we're obviously just spitballing here. There's a lot of stuff that this could mean. We could be looking at a situation where their planet was terraformed using aspects of these other planets, or I'm just really I'm more interested in the imagery at the bottom and the ritual that's taking place.
yeah. I mean, it looks like that person's either a Chagrian or a Twi'lek. There's also a person with a trunk. This could be like a Force sect of some kind. OED OED N. Starting to get gibberish. OED. Are y'all allowed to show a screenshot of the thing because education and not really showing the scene? Yeah, I can actually. Really quickly. I'm not really showing the show. I can show you guys what we're looking at right now.
I mean, this image might be better. I just sent you one.
I've already oriented myself to it. Hold on. Let's see if you guys can see this. This is what we're looking at right now, and I'll just cover the chat so you guys can see it. Or just put it in between us. But this is what we're trying to translate. Which I'm going to have it fully translated in like the next 30 minutes after, we wrap things up. But what we're talking about in this image is the ritual on the bottom where there's a couple of people laying on hands, a central figure that looks like they've got a Chagrian horns, or if that's a headdress, or if it's a Twi'lek or something, and then above their head is the one planet, one of the worlds. And then of course Kim is standing on top of the rest of that we need. God dang it. Which one is at Atten? I mean, presumably it's the one in the center. I'm not sure because they describe the barrier being a swirl, and there is a swirl planet, or there's a swirl world on the outer edge of this.
And we don't know that that's a world as well. That could very well be like, it could be surrounded by gas giants.
Oh, she does walk into the center. I'm going to have to bring this into Affinity and raise the
that's one of the reasons I didn't want to do this live, because I'm like, there's a lot of pieces to put together potentially, and stuff to do to make things more clear.
Yeah. Okay. So we didn't realize that this episode was going to send us on a scavenger hunt, but I mean, loving the show so far. Episode 3 is fantastic. Lots of lore drops. We get this idea that Silvo or Crimson Jack is, as we've been kind of presuming, he's going to use the children to get his reward, his treasure. He's already starting to endear himself to the kids. The fact that they worked together to get away from the goons at the end there was pretty rad. I mean, I'm already saying
and I like that the goons are that's just New Republic, presumably, but the X-Wings and the colors line up. And the kids don't know that.
Yeah. The biggest thing, of course, is that the kids don't know anything about the war. So even though there's Republic logos in the school, that's not New Republic logos, obviously. It's Republic, like before the war, right? So they probably don't even know that the Empire took over the Republic. There was a war to take it back from the Empire. So it certainly sounds like a world that has been there since probably the old Republic into the prequels to now.
I mean, I guess that's a good question. Is what era do you think they are in Adadan? Like, if you were to liken it to the U.S., would you say that they are in the space 80s?
I mean, it certainly gives me Fallout, but without the Fallout. you know, they're stuck in
Okay.
they're stuck in that, like, the nuclear family, nuclear
Yeah.
kind of times, especially if you
There's
consider, like, the people in the vault who don't know what, like, who grew up there but don't realize why they're there.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly probably the best way to look at it. That is exactly what's happening. These people are essentially trapped in the vault of Atten, and they all have these specific roles as engineers and stuff like that, and analysts, and exactly they're charting. We don't know. This could just be busy work to keep them, keep the people placid. I am really curious to see what happens with the Underlord, and I'm really interested in Wim's dad because he is going to bust this case like wide open.
The Underlord? Or the
Did I
supervisor?
say Underlord?
Yeah.
Um,
We were
Yeah,
talking about the
supervisor.
supervisor, yeah. The supervisor is giving off Fault 33 energy.
so I've been reading, the Unsold series, and Underlord is a rank that people that people hit, and this is giving me shades of that as well. But
Yeah.
none of y'all know what I'm talking about, so.
VGC says Defo 50 is era of USA. It's certainly.
I mean, we did have the Mel's Diner there, and then some of the stuff.
But it's making all it's all coming together, right? For the people who are in good faith wondering why it looks like the way it is and they have the suburbs and stuff, it's because it is a world that is stuck in time. That is far removed from the wars, the Civil War, the Empire, everything, and it's been hidden purposefully. So it makes sense that they do have suburbs, that they do have this sort of look about it that is untouched, right?
And so whenever something like this happens, and you're like, "Why is it like this?" That's a question to ask. And I don't know, people here probably don't need to hear it, but it's not something to get mad at.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem with the show,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
It's something that was chosen for a specific reason.
I also love that Star Wars is continuing this habit of answering bad faith questions in the next episode. It's like, why didn't he get the key if he had the Force? And then, like, the beginning of this episode, why didn't you just free yourself? It's like, without a ship, what's the point of freeing myself?
Yeah.
The bricks and
Which
screws
was my
guys.
joke. Like you break out and then you go, now what?
Yeah. Also, I think Spooky said earlier, I started playing Marvel Rivals and I don't suck, so I'm good to go whenever you guys want to play. Did you ever give us your Rivals name?
I'm Darth Choco.
I'm
No
DYAD in the
space.
Force.
Darth Choco.
Last Jedi touched capitalism effect on war, but we haven't gotten how it affects an entire planet in Star Wars. And what if the planet closed themselves off to the rest of the world? Yeah, it's we've gotten these stories before. I said it right. It's the place stuck in time, and it's interesting because even if we look at the droids on the planet, they are reminiscent of Old Republic droids. That, like, it has not, like, they've not gone through rapid progress. They've not gone through, like, an industrial revolution in which, they would be seeing the advances that we see in, even the prequels and even in the New Republic, right? A lot of it is still very much of a time and of an era that is stuck in time, which is why, like, they're on rails. They don't have air cars like in the prequels.
Yeah, I mean, them being on rails, I think is a very ham-fisted metaphor of, like, literally
Yeah.
people's lives are on rails in this society.
Yeah.
You find out what you're supposed to be good at in middle school, and then that's what you do for the rest of your life, trying to climb ever higher in whatever this society is, but nothing changes or moves forward. You know?
No, that's exactly the case. VGC says I keep missing when you guys are playing. We're probably gonna be playing after this. But not immediately after this, because we have some translating to do. I just completely
Also,
fluffed up my layout.
Also, Pep, there is another show that I think we need to do a watch along for as well.
What you talking about, Willis?
I need to figure out the name of it, but it just dropped. It's on Prime Video, and it's the game by the it's the show by the Love, Death, and Robots people, where each story takes place in a different game universe, and they're all one-offs.
Oh, I remember you were talking about this.
And so I've heard some good things. They just dropped half of them. I think I want to say that there is going to be 8 in total, and they dropped 4 and 4, or maybe it's 12 total, and they did 6 and they're doing 6 and 6. But yeah, the first set dropped.
Awesome. When do you want to do the watch along for that?
Whenever. I literally just found out that it dropped.
We can make some time Thursday night.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. Awesome episode. Lots of lore drops. We've learned a lot more about AT-AT, the purpose with which it exists, the context in which it exists. DYAD na Nawad. DYAD na Nawad. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this watch party and hanging out with us, of course, and kind of having the patience to sit through this when I should be, hanging out with you guys. But we'll see you guys on, I suppose, do you want to do it on Thursday night this week, or just or start from next week? Actually, I probably won't be able to do it Thursday night because I am getting the mark.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see you guys on Friday at 5 p.m. for this DYAD in the Force, and we will report back with you our findings with this translation. And you can also add us on Marvel Rivals, Darth Choco, and DYAD in the Force. VGC says, let's see, I keep messing out when you guys are playing.
And even if you do suck, we play with people who suck too.
Honestly, whenever you see us online on Rivals, just send an invite or request to join. That's probably the easiest way. You could also add me on Discord at Element 7. We can get you into the Discord server as well. And take things from there. But thanks for hanging out, guys. That's it. On to the next one.
For Light and for Life.
We are all nourished and housed.
And Neil Nation, rise up. This is our moment.
No, KB! KB has the Force.
I don't know where you got that, but KB is the coolest character. Best design, in my opinion, actually.
Guys, KB has the